That's the Ozzy Osbourne band right there from the Black Rain release, and that is the title track. And, well, that's a lot of bad news in the Black Rain, but bringing some good news to the table is the Ozzy Osbourne bassist Blasko. Welcome to the Classic Metal Show there, Blasko.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to have you back here on the show, and we're winding down the year here in 2009, and you've got something very positive happening in the early part of 2010 already. At least it's in the planning stages, right?
That is correct.
Well, I guess from what I'm understanding here, you are leading the charge, or you're one of the people leading the charge in introducing heavy metal karaoke, where the regular Joe gets to get up on stage with veteran musicians and scream their lungs out with you guys backing them as a backing band.
That is the concept, yeah. I mean, you nailed it.
Excellent. Well, Blasko, I don't know if you're familiar with a guitarist by the name of Billy Morris. Do you know him at all?
I know a guitarist by the name of Billy Morrison.
No, Billy Morris. He kind of a session guy. He's a fill-in guy. He's played with like Quiet Riot, and he played with Warrant for a while, and he has a club in Cleveland. He's been doing a very similar thing for the last couple of years, where he has a band and does heavy metal karaoke, and you guys are kind of carrying over and doing the exact same thing out there in Hollywood, which is very cool because it's a very successful concept.
You know what? You're right. It is. I mean, by no means am I thinking that we're original in this
Oh,
in this
absolutely.
adventure,
Yeah, absolutely.
or whatever. I mean, it's like like you said, your guys doing it there. There's a guy from Celtic Frost who does it, I think, like in Germany or Norway or something. His thing is called Karaoke from Hell. There's a handful of different things. The most of them though are just regular musicians, not actual dudes from bands.
Sure.
There's a few of those scattered around as well. So yeah, by no means do we think that we're being uber original in this scenario, but it is odd that there isn't one of these in LA. So no surprise that they're all over the place, just a bit of a surprise that we're the first ones to do it here.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, I guess kind of emceeing this whole thing, you've got former Skid Row, Saigon Kick drummer Phil Varone working along with you?
Yeah, and current Dr. Drew current Dr. Drew sex rehab reality TV star.
Right. Well, we've had Phil on the show a few times, so we really enjoy having him on. He's quite a talker. He's very open and honest about everything he says. He's a very funny guy, being that he has tried the stand-up comedian thing. But I think that's awesome that he's kind of... Now, would it be proper to call him the MC of this?
Yeah, well, we're actually calling him the host.
Okay.
But MC certainly would be his role. I mean, he'll be kind of filling the gaps in between songs, and getting the people up on stage and giving them their gift bags after they sing, and things of that nature. So he's going to be the one carrying it along while there's dead space.
Sure. Well, I get the whole concept and the opportunity to have people being able to perform with, like I said, veteran musicians who played in bands and stuff. Now, is there any kind of competition with this, or is this just, hey, get up there for your 5 minutes and get the hell off, or is it kind of like trying to... Not necessarily the reason you're doing this is to find a new singing star, but is there any competition or any like return engagement for people who do well, or how is this working?
Yeah, I mean, everyone that sings will walk away with a gift bag that's got a I sang with heavy metal karaoke T-shirt and whatever contributions we can get from our sponsors, whether it's who knows, whatever it is, so everyone that sings with us will get something, and then our intention is to put it into a competitive sort of arena, to where the winners get to come back the following week and they get to sing and stuff. But as far as I know now, it's we don't have some grand prize at the end. It's just kind of like we're just gonna have fun with it, and people that do well, like, we'll want to have back and have them sing again and again. So.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I understand now. I got a lot of contacts out there in the L.A. Hollywood area, and I understand that this economy has particularly hit the Hollywood area kind of hard. Is it true that the Key Club just shut down here just recently?
It's about to, yeah.
Yeah. So what is it that do you guys think that, or are hoping anyway, that this idea of singing with metal stars will kind of reinvigorate? At least you're holding this at the Whiskey, right?
At the Whiskey, yeah. And it's only, I mean, it's a cheap ticket price. It's $10 to get in. And I think that, hey man, like, yeah, we're in a bit of a down economy, and there's things that are suffering, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is just fun. This is just a good time, and that's all we're trying to create here. So hopefully everyone will want to come out and have a good time with us.
Sure, absolutely. Now, another band who was kind of paying tribute to the '80s. Obviously, you're probably very well aware of Steel Panther, and they kind of had a standing gig there at the Key Club since they've been out there on the road and actually touring, which I don't think anybody ever saw coming. But
right.
What's your thoughts on their tribute act?
I think that it's great. I mean, it hasn't sold out every Monday for the last however long we've been doing it, 8 years or something. Like it hasn't done so well because it's not a good show. It's a great show, and and dude, they're cool dudes, man. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, we can only hope to get a little bit of trickle down from the fact that they have to move out of the Strip, kind of move further down. So we can only hope to maybe attach ourselves to some of their audience,
Sure.
But no, I think their show's great. I mean, and where we're different is that clearly we're engaging the audience, we're involving the audience, and we're gonna play cover songs too, but we're doing like real metal stuff, like not Rat and Poison hair metal stuff.
Sure. Right.
We're playing like Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden.
Right. The classic metal.
Classic metal.
Right, which is what we do here on the Classic Metal Show. Can you imagine that?
Absolutely. Yeah, what a concept.
Well, Blasko, what kind of a longevity do you see for a project like this? I mean, I know you're a touring bassist, and if you say Ozzy gets a gig or something and decides to tour or whatever, obviously you're going to have to abandon that post for a little while. How long do you see this thing going?
Well, right now we have a residency for January and February, and that'll be the litmus test. Either it's something that will need to continue, or it's something that we're going to have to hibernate, or it's something that we're just going to have to just execute
Sure.
right there on the spot. So. But we won't know till we get some feedback and people come out and either there's going to be a calling for it, there's going to be a need for it, and people are really going to have fun with it and want to come out every week, or they won't, and is yet to be determined.
Right. Well, I see you're also playing along with Tommy Victor of Prong and Danzig, and you're also playing with Tommy Clufetos of Rob Zombie, which. You played along with him before, right? With Zombie, you were in the band at the time with him?
Exactly. Exactly.
So whose idea was this for you guys to say, hey, why don't we put this together and make this happen? Whose idea was this?
It was kind of a collective. Tommy and I were hanging out. Tommy Clufetos and I were hanging out, and we were just kind of shooting the shit one day, and we just we sort of branched off the concept of the punk rock karaoke band, and we're like, man, we could do that. Like, why don't we do a heavy metal karaoke, version of it or whatever? And we just started brainstorming a bunch of different ideas, and this kind of came together. And then it was just like all of a sudden, like, okay, well, I'm gonna make this happen.
Sure.
Like it's like seems all funny and stuff whenever you're just horsing around, but at the end of the day, I was like, oh no, I think we should actually do this one.
Right.
So
look at your screen right now. If you're tired of the hide-and-seek games with big tech, where links disappear and episodes get throttled, I've got the fix. I'm Chris Aiken, And it's time for me to show you how to take back your access to the Classic Metal Show, the Seth Williams Show, and Chris Aiken Presents. Pick up your phone, go to the App Store or Google Play, and download the Locals app. It is 100% free. Once you're in, just search for the CMS Network. You're going to see everything. Every interview, every unfiltered rant, every deep dive music discussion, every uncensored news article we put up, all in one centralized, uncensored hub. No more chasing links across 5 different socials. This is our home. But if you really want the keys to the kingdom, look for that VIP upgrade. For just $4.99 a month, you're cutting out the commercials, getting the advance drops before anyone else, and accessing bonus episodes that are way too heavy, dirty, or we just don't want to share with the free public. For the price of a cheap beer, you're supporting independent, unapologetic media. Download the Locals app today. Get some CMS wherever you are. And if you're a real one, join the VIP squad at classicmetalshow.locals.com. The Classic Metal Show and the CMS Network. It's uncensored. It's unapologetic. We will see you there.
Well, was this something that you guys had to get together in a room and actually do your band practice to really bone up on all these songs so you can just tear into them at will?
Oh, we're going to have to, yeah.
I just figured guys like you could pick up your instruments and just gel immediately.
Well, there is a level of that for sure, but I mean, we definitely want to go in prepared.
Right.
We're going to be doing this stuff on the spot. So will there have to be some level of preparedness for it?
Sure, absolutely. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun there, Blasko, and I will definitely have to make a trip out there and at least witness it, if not jump on stage and make a fool of myself like everybody else.
Even better.
Well, I got to ask you, Blasko, recently here there was a little bit of rumbling out there that you and Eddie Trunk were kind of trading a little bit of barbs. What was that all about?
Oh, that was nothing. That. You know what? I'll be honest with you. It was. I was listening to his show. He said something kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I got a little heated about it, and at the end of the day, you know what? If I'm ever lucky enough to meet that dude, I'm just going to tell him to his face why I had a problem with him at that very moment in time, and then that will be the end of it.
Okay.
But furthering than that, it was just it's just like a sort of unapologetic response to just something silly.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're not going to enlighten us as to what kind of rubbed you the wrong way?
No, it was in hindsight it was really nothing or whatever, but it's funny, right? Because now it's before you have those things and you maybe you vent to a friend or something, or maybe it would end up in a magazine interview somewhere down the line, but now everything is just so instant, right?
Sure.
And you've got these you've got these online, feuds and stuff going back and forth, with all different aspects of the entertainment industry, just because of just the way that the social media, network, works and stuff. So it's funny, right? It's you gotta it's just a funny situation.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what's going on with the Ozzy Osbourne band? Is there anything you can tell us about that? I mean, obviously it was very common knowledge that Gus G had played with you guys, and we really like Gus G and Firewind here, and so anything in the future you can talk about, or as far as the band, or what's going on with the Ozzy camp?
I mean, for right now, it's just we've just been working on a record for a while, and the future is yet to be undetermined. I mean, I think at some point the plan is to put out a record and go on tour, and dude, and this is I tell this to everybody. Hey, man, I'm the bass player, man. I'm the second to last to know anything.
Sure.
So the last being the last to know anything, of course, is the drummer. But I'm second from there. So it just we'll see what happens, but it's a work in progress.
Sure. Well, obviously Ozzy has really come to the commercial forefront here, doing commercials and showing up on various programs and, having reality TV and, of course, Sharon, being part of America's Got Talent and showing up at various functions and whatnot. And they become kind of a real Hollywood family. Now, I know you, being that you work with Ozzy obviously comes off almost kind of like a frail, decrepit guy, and I think that's almost like an act. I mean, you work with the guy. Is he like that at all? Is he healthy? Is he a healthy guy?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that there's a lot of misconception of the way that the Osbourne show, and keep in mind that show is really old, that the way that show was edited together and sort of gave people that perception of him, but it's totally not the case.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, and I mean, so, I mean, I don't know what to say other than, man, that show's really old, and anyone still thinks that, like, is kind of like out of the loop a little.
Sure. Well, it just seems like Ozzy almost looks feeble at times, but somehow I don't believe it, because when I saw, the YouTube videos of you guys recently playing just a couple of months ago, he just looked like plain old Ozzy up there on stage, throwing his water and singing and moving about like normal. So it just kind of,
who he is, man.
It's just kind of odd how the perception of TV and reality, have, the lines get blurred there.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you looked at a show from 2 months ago, and yeah, I don't care what anyone's got to say. That look at it. Looks fine to me.
Sure, absolutely.
No problem there.
All right, well, it looks like your heavy metal karaoke is going to kick off January 12th in Hollywood at the famed Whiskey A Go-Go, as if anybody even calls it that anymore. But
I don't think they do. I don't even think the whiskey calls it the Whiskey A Go-Go anymore.
Yeah, they just call it the Whiskey. So head out to the Whiskey and become a participant in this heavy metal karaoke, and then go on down to the Rainbow and hang out with Lemmy.
Yeah. Sounds like a party.
Excellent. All right, Blasko, is there anything else you'd like to tell the folks here on the Classic Metal Show? Anything I haven't touched on, or any, projects or something that you have that you might want to let people know about?
That's it, man. That's my main focus right now. Sure,
absolutely. Well, where can people find you on the web?
They can find me at myspace.com, or actually it's easy. My web address is Blasko.me. Couldn't be any easier.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, if you're in the Hollywood area or you plan on making a trip out there, Blasko and friends are kicking off heavy metal karaoke at the Whiskey, and that all starts January 12th of 2010, and it sounds like a good time. And a $1 buy to get in, $10 to get in the door, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next metal star,
Yeah, at least for that night you will be.
All right, Blasko. Well, I mentioned Lemmy there, and what we do here on the Classic Metal Show, we have a traditional Classic Metal Show question we ask everyone. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Man, how hasn't he? That dude's, I mean, the thing about Motorhead, like whenever I was growing up, there was a few bands that were able to sort of skate the line, or to blur the line between heavy metal and punk rock, right? Because things weren't so crossed over then. It was like, it was kind of like you were either into one or the other. Like you either had long hair or you had a mohawk, And Motorhead was one of those bands that was able to be both. You'd see the long hair guy with the Motorhead shirt, and you'd see the punk rock dude with the Motorhead back patch. And they were just one of those bands that was able to sort of cross that line. And I think, early on, especially, at that time period, bands like that were able to sort of meld those two things together. And, it's kind of part of the reason why it's grown over the years, is because, you're able to start to blur that line. And metal bands can be influenced by punk rock, and punk rock bands can be influenced by metal or whatever. So, I mean, I think over the grand bringing more to the table in terms of this heavier music genre, you know?
Sure, absolutely.
They say you should never look back, but I've never been good at following orders. I'm Chris Aiken, and while most of you know me for the radio and the interviews, I've got a past that would make social justice warriors' heads explode. My latest book, and Other Things I Should Not Say, isn't a self-help manual. It's an autopsy of the years 1986 to 1990. 4 years of sex, booze, and absolute chaos while I was serving in the military in Korea and California. I'm talking about stories that stay buried in the back of your memory because society tells you they're wrong and ugly. Well, I don't live in fear of my past. Every filthy, calloused, and ridiculous moment in this book actually happened, and I'm damn proud to share it. If you're easily offended, keep walking, pal. But if you want to see what happens when you pack a lifetime of dangerous living into just 4 years, head over to Amazon.com or just go to the link in the description and grab yourself a copy today. Both middle fingers are up and the truth is right here. Get some CMS, uncensored, and Other Things I Should Not Say is the book, and it is sure to offend and sicken and make you laugh like you never have before.
All right, Blasko, well, we appreciate you being a part of the Classic Metal Show tonight, and as a tradition here on the show, we always let our artists pick a closing song and maybe tell us a story about it.
Okay. Wow. I have no idea.
Any favorites of yours or something you may have played on?
You know, I haven't really played on much, unfortunately. I'm mostly like a live guy, you know.
Mm-hmm,
so,
sure.
Shoot, man, I don't know.
You got a
Black Sabbath.
Go ahead.
You know, Black Sabbath.
All right.
Greatest song ever. The birth of it all. You know, the reason why we're even here having a conversation.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, go check out Heavy Metal Karaoke happening at the Whiskey, January 12th, 2010. And, well, here it is. This is Black Sabbath, exclusively here on your Classic Metal Show.